Hello everyone, welcome to our video tutorial about Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is an application program that is designed to perform calculations. Or others look at it as a program that is designed to store and manipulate numerical data, though this program also can store textual contents. So this is the Microsoft Office Excel that we are going to focus on today. To begin, let's move our pointer on top of the screen. So this is the area we call the title bar. On the title bar, it always contains the name of the file. So at the moment, we can see book 1 as the name of the file we are having. Any Excel file is referred to as a workbook. So that's why we see book 1 on the title bar. And on the top right corner, we have got 3 buttons on this window. The first one can allow us to minimize. This one can allow us to restore down this file. Or you can still use this same file. If we can click on it once, you can restore down. This is what we are calling restoring down. Then when you click back, you can maximize this window. Then the last one with the red button, this one is known as close button. You can use it to close or exit this program. And on our top left corner, we have got what we call the quick access toolbar, where we can save, where we can undo, where we can redo, and even we can go ahead and customize this quick access toolbar by the help of this button. Still on our top left corner, we have Office button. We can click once. So when you click on it, you can see options to create new workbook. You can open an existing file. You can save changes to the file made to your workbook. You can also give your file a new name, that is if you have created another new file. You can print, you can do these other options. And important are these 2 options, Excel option. Under Excel options, you can do any kind of changes you want on this window. Then exit Excel. When you click on it, it means you're going to leave this file or you're going to close this Excel file. To deactivate this menu, we just click in our worksheet once. So when you click, the menu is removed. Below this title bar, we have what we call the tabs, as we can see. For instance, under the Home tab, we have got buttons like the cut, copy, format, painter, paste. These buttons are organized in what we call groups. So this is the clipboard group. Then when you see still under this Home tab, we have the font group, the alignment group, the number group, styles group, cells group, editing group. Then you can also view on other tabs. For instance, if we click on the formula tab, when you left click once, you realize that there are also buttons arranged in form of groups. For example, all these ones are in the function library group. Then on the left of the formula bar, we have the name box. So the name box is used to display the cell address of the currently selected cells. Now, for instance, we can see A1 that means the selected cell is A1, which is this cell here. It displays A1 because when you are dealing with Excel, we first read the column letter followed by the row number. So if we click in this cell, left click once, you can now see the name box displaying C3, meaning that we are reading the column letter followed by the row number. That's why we see in the name box C3. For it, it does not display the contents, but only the address of the cell that is currently selected. This therefore means that this cell with a dark border is the selected cell or the active cell. Then the C3 we are seeing becomes the cell address of this selected cell. Then where this C3 is, or the cell address is the name box. As we can see, when you point on that area, the name appears as name box. Name box is different from the formula bar. So we have to take note of these two features. They are all found on the ribbon, but they perform different functions. And our next feature is the rows and the columns. The columns are represented by letters, while the rows are represented by numbers. So to show you the rows, we are going to click where we see 2. Click left once. So this is what we are calling the rows. You can see these are just the range of cells that run horizontally. And currently we are seeing up to 27 rows. We can still check by using the scroll button on our left hand side. So we can click. So when you click, you can see the number of rows increasing. Approximately in Excel, there are around 1 million rows. Now we can click, hold, and drag this scroll button back up. Then we would like to see the columns. Now you can see we have columns running from A up to U, but we can check for more columns by using this horizontal scroll bar. So we click on this arrow, or you can click, hold, and then move. So as you move, you can see the changes from the columns letters. You can continue clicking to view. So the more you click, the more you see the number of columns appearing on your Excel file. We can click, hold, and push back our columns. Now we can see the columns have gone back. There are approximately 16,000 columns in an Excel file. So we have to take note of those figures. So we can click back in our cell C3. If we would like to know the exact number of rows in this Excel file, then we can look on our keyboard. We press Ctrl key, hold it down, then we go to the cursor, Ctrl keys, those 4 keys just below the Shift key. You press on that button pointing down once. So when you point down, here is the exact number of rows that we have in this Excel file. And to go back to the first row, we are going to press the Ctrl key once again, but this time under the cursor Ctrl keys, you're going to press on that arrow pointing up. Then you can see now we have come back to the first row on our worksheet. Then now we can also establish the last letter on the columns. To do that, we are going to press the Control key on the keyboard. This time, under the cursor control keys, press on the arrow pointing to your right hand side. So when you do that, it will take you up to the last column, which is XFD. To go back, press Control key and then that arrow pointing to your left hand side once. You can now see you are back where we have the first column and the first row. That's how you can find out the total number of rows and the total number of columns in your workbook or worksheet in your Excel file. Unlike Microsoft Word, which consists of pages, Excel by default consists of what we call worksheets, and there are always 3 worksheets in a workbook. And this can be represented by these tabs we are seeing below. We have sheet 1, which is this one we are having on our screen. Then we have sheet 2, we have sheet 3. But when we click on them, you may not realize that differences. So let's go back to sheet 1, click once, and in our cell A1, we type 2019. So we do not expect to find this content in sheet 2 and sheet 3. So let's click sheet 2 to see. So you can now see in sheet 2 there is no content here. You can also type maybe 2020, and we don't expect this content to appear either in sheet 3 or sheet 1. So we can proceed to sheet 3. You see our sheet 3 doesn't have anything. Then sheet 2, there is 2020. Then we have sheet 1, we have 2019. And those are what we are calling the 3 different sheets that opens by default in Microsoft Excel. This means that you can have these different sheets to store different information. For example, in sheet 1, you could put there names of students in senior 1. Sheet 2, you can say I'm putting there names of students in senior 2. Sheet 3, you can put there some other information of your choice. But this does not mean that you can have only 3 sheets in your Excel file or your workbook. This next option gives you an opportunity to insert other sheets. That's why we are seeing a live preview showing to us insert new sheet. So when you click on it, it will add for you another sheet, which is sheet 4. When you continue clicking, it will keep on adding more other worksheets to your workbook. On the left of the sheet tabs, we have these navigation buttons. These ones help you to move within your worksheet as you try to check on the contents within the worksheets. As you can see them here, this one takes you to the right hand side and takes you to the last part of the content. Then this one to the left hand side as you are checking your contents. We have got the page layout, the normal layout, the page layout, and then we have the page break preview. Then as we proceed, we have the zoom tool, Now the zoom is at 100%, but you can change the zoom of your worksheet by just using either the negative button or the positive button. For instance, when you click, you can see the zoom percentage increasing, and also the cells in the worksheet also somehow increasing in size. So when you click back on the negative one, you can see also the changes on the screen. Then below here, this is the horizontal scroll bar. Then this one we have the vertical scroll bar. They help you to move the worksheet up and down, and then horizontally as well. We can only decide to minimize or maximize or close only the worksheet but not the workbook. So those options are here. So if we can click on the minimize window, left click once, you can see now we have the file open or our workbook open, but the worksheet seems not to be displayed. But we can only find that worksheet from the left corner at the bottom. So if you want this worksheet to reappear, then you can click on restore up, or you can click on maximize button. So let's click once. So when you click, you can see the worksheet is now displayed. If you click on this close window button, it means that you are going to close only the worksheet but not the workbook, or not the whole Excel file. To minimize this ribbon, and to do that, we shall right click from the tab area. Then we select minimize the ribbon option. So when you click on it, the ribbon will be hidden. If you want it to come back, you still go back to the tab area, you right click, but this time you will uncheck this option for minimize the ribbon. When you click on it once, the ribbon will again be displayed for us. To minimize or maximize the ribbon, you can simply go to this tab buttons and you double click. For instance, I'm going to double click on this home tab. So when you double click, you can see the ribbon is hidden. If you want it to be displayed once again, you still do the same. Go to any of these tabs and you double click on your mouse piece. When you double click, then we have the ribbon displayed once again for use. You should note that Excel has a lot of features that you can work with. What you should do is to only be creative enough. You be also curious to find out more of these other features that we have not talked about. That's it for now. See you in our next tutorial.